Good morning. This is the day the Lord has made, so let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am Pastor Marianne Kellenbach, pastor at Living Faith Church, and today is Friday, June the 11th in the year 2021. Oh my gosh, it's Friday already. We are focusing this week on day 6 in the story of creation as it was found in chapter 1 of Genesis. Chapter 2 has a different story. There are 2 creation stories. So we're going to take a look at creation story number 2 more quickly in the coming weeks. But for right now, we're going to continue with day 6. I think I failed to mention that Living Faith Church is located in the state of Florida, in the city of Port St. Lucie, and in the community of Tradition. So focusing on day 6, the beginning part, which we looked at last week, focused on the God creating all of the various animals and insects and everything that will crawl around or creep around on the face of the earth. And then the second half of what God did on day 6 was to create human beings, created in the image of the triune God. We talked a little bit about that earlier this week. Today we're going to take a look at the vocation that we have been given. I'm going to read from the New Living Translation, which you saw yesterday, and I'm going to read it again. Then God said, "Let us make human beings in our image, to be like us. They will reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the livestock, all the wild animals on the earth, and the small animals that scurry around the ground." So God created human beings in his own image. In the image of God, God created them. Male and female, God created them. Then God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and govern it. Reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and all the animals that scurry along the ground." See, as human beings, we have been given a vocation. First and foremost, we're created in the image of God, and then we're given a vocation to reign over, REIGN. We talk about, when we talk at the end of the year for the church, the liturgical year is, we call it Christ the King Sunday. It is the reign of Christ Sunday. And so if we're to reign as God reigns, we are to care for the well-being of all that exists on the face of this earth, including each other. But let's just talk about the earth itself. We think about how are we doing with governing it? Are we using up the resources of this earth, or are we preserving the resources of this earth? I know here in Port St. Lucie and around the Treasure Coast here, we're having lots of issues with the estuaries and the rivers and the pollutants that are coming from Lake Okeechobee. And it's killing and snuffing out many of the fishes and the wildlife and the coral reefs. And there's so many issues that are happening because of the fertilizer that is getting in the water and creating these algae blooms. How are we doing with fishing? Are we overfishing our waterways? Or are we developing appropriate rules or governing or strategies to ensure that our waterways are not overfished and that we are taking care of the fish? And how about our birds? Are we ensuring that which flies in the sky has clean skies that they can fly in? And even breathing for ourselves, are we putting into effect the appropriate controls to make sure that our earth stays healthy? Because the earth is a living organism. We tend to forget that. Everything is a living organism. And God has given us an incredibly awesome responsibility, and that is to care for this earth. We have taken lots of steps to care for the earth in the recycling of plastics, which destroys the earth. But I know that we can do better. I absolutely know that. So, how on this day can you, for today, care for the earth? What steps can you do to reduce your footprint here on earth? Maybe it means riding your bicycle a little bit more than taking your car to the store. Maybe it means ensuring that you are recycling any bottles, plastic bottles or paper bags that you may have. Maybe it actually means to start filtering the water as opposed to buying bottled water. Whatever it may be, whatever it may be, do it today. And then tomorrow, remember your vocation. Your vocation, my vocation, our vocation as human beings is to reign over that which lives here on the earth, in the skies, in the seas, as well as the very earth itself. That is the job that God has given us to do. And since we are created in the image of God, we know the heavy responsibility to continue to allow God to recreate through us as God does each and every single day. Blessings to you on this day as you think about your responsibility and your vocation that has been given to you by our Lord. And I will see you here tomorrow. Blessings.